Your body woke up this morning ready for a world that disappeared thousands of years ago. It scanned for predators before you opened your eyes. It flooded your system with cortisol the moment your alarm went off, the same stress hormone it would have released if a lion had walked into your sleeping area. It made your heart beat faster, your muscles tense, your senses sharpen, all in preparation for a physical threat that was never coming. And then you checked your emails. And your body had absolutely no idea what to do with that. This is not a metaphor. This is not a poetic way of describing stress. This is the precise biological reality of what happens inside your body every single morning. You are running hardware that was built for one world and operating it in a completely different one. And the gap between those two worlds is quietly responsible for some of the most common, most debilitating, and most misunderstood problems in modern human life. Today we are going to look at exactly what that gap is, where it came from, what it is costing you right now, and why understanding it changes everything about how you see your own body and its relationship with the world you are actually living in. Let us start with the most important thing to understand about evolution, because most people think about it wrong, and that misunderstanding is at the root of everything else. Evolution is not a process that moves toward perfection. It is not a process that optimizes for happiness or health or longevity or quality of life. Evolution is a process that optimizes for one thing only: reproductive survival in a specific environment. It does not care how you feel. It does not care how long you live after your reproductive years. It does not care whether the adaptations it built for one environment continue to serve you when that environment changes. It simply selects for what works right now in the conditions that currently exist and builds that selection into the biology of the next generation. The human body was built, refined, optimized, calibrated over approximately 2 million years of existence as a hunter-gatherer species. 2 million years of living in small groups, moving constantly across landscapes, facing genuine physical danger, eating foods that required significant effort to obtain, sleeping in natural light cycles, and experiencing stress as a short, intense, physically resolved event rather than a chronic, low-grade, never-ending condition. That is the world your body was built for. That is the environment your every biological system was calibrated to operate in. And that world, the world that shaped every stress response, every hunger signal, every immune reaction, every sleep mechanism, every social instinct in your body, that world is gone. It has been gone in evolutionary terms for the blink of an eye, and your body has not caught up. It cannot catch up. Evolution does not move that fast. And the mismatch between the body you inherited and the world you are living in is not a minor inconvenience. It is the hidden explanation behind conditions and experiences that modern medicine often treats as mysteries. Let us talk about stress first, because this is where the mismatch is most dramatic and most damaging. Your stress response system, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, the release of cortisol and adrenaline, the cascade of physiological changes that prepares your body for immediate physical action, is one of the most sophisticated and effective emergency systems ever produced by evolution. In the environment it was designed for, it was extraordinary. A predator appears. Within milliseconds, your body floods with stress hormones. Your heart rate spikes. Blood is redirected from your digestive system to your major muscle groups. Your pain sensitivity drops. Your vision sharpens. Your entire physiology reconfigures itself for one purpose: immediate physical survival. You fight or you run. The threat resolves. Your cortisol levels drop. Your body returns to baseline. The whole event is over in minutes. That system saved your ancestors' lives every single day. It is the reason you exist. But here is what that system was never designed for. It was never designed for a threat that does not resolve. It was never designed for a danger that cannot be fought or outrun. It was never designed for the kind of stress that modern life specializes in: chronic, low-grade, psychologically generated, and physically unresolvable. Your mortgage, your performance review, your difficult relationship, the news cycle, the constant low hum of digital anxiety. Your body cannot distinguish between a lion and a difficult email. It registers threat and it responds. Cortisol rises, heart rate increases, muscles tense. It dysregulates the gut microbiome. It interferes with reproductive hormone production. A system that was designed to save your life in a crisis is, when run continuously on non-physical modern stressors, quietly dismantling your health from the inside. Your body is not broken. It is doing exactly what it was designed to do. The problem is that it is doing it in a world it was never designed for. Now let us talk about hunger, because this one affects almost everyone, and almost nobody understands what is actually happening. Your hunger and satiety system was calibrated in an environment where food was scarce, unpredictable, and required significant physical effort to obtain. In that environment, the correct biological strategy was obvious. When food is available, eat as much as possible because you do not know when food will be available again. Store excess calories as fat, because fat is survival insurance against the periods of scarcity that are coming. Make calorie-dense, sweet, and fatty foods feel intensely rewarding, because in a world where those foods are rare and hard to obtain, seeking them aggressively is a survival advantage. Every one of those biological strategies was extraordinarily effective for 2 million years, and every single one of them is a liability in the modern food environment. You are not weak-willed when you cannot stop eating calorie-dense food. You are not lacking discipline when sweet and fatty foods feel almost compulsively rewarding. You are not broken when your body does not register fullness quickly enough to prevent overeating. You are running a perfectly calibrated biological system, calibrated for an environment of scarcity, in an environment of unlimited, effortless, artificially engineered abundance. The food industry employs scientists specifically to identify the precise combinations of sugar, fat, and salt that maximally activate the reward systems your brain evolved to associate with rare, valuable nutrition. They are not competing with your willpower. They are exploiting a biological system that was never designed to resist them, because in the environment that system was built for, there was nothing to resist. The result is a body that is doing exactly what evolution designed it to do, and being systematically harmed by doing it. Sleep is the third mismatch, and this one is particularly instructive because the damage it causes is almost entirely invisible until it becomes catastrophic. Your sleep system was calibrated to natural light cycles. For 2 million years, the human body used the gradual shift from daylight to darkness as its primary signal for sleep onset. The fading of sunlight triggered a cascade of melatonin production that prepared the body and brain for the specific biological processes that only happen during sleep. Memory consolidation, cellular repair, immune system maintenance, hormonal regulation, metabolic processing. These are not passive processes that happen because you are not awake. They are active, complex, time-sensitive biological operations that require the specific neurological conditions that deep sleep provides, and that are disrupted by even small amounts of artificial light exposure in the hours before sleep. Your body cannot distinguish between sunlight and the light emitted by your phone screen. The photoreceptors in your eyes that trigger melatonin suppression respond to blue wavelength light, and screens emit blue wavelength light at intensities that your biology interprets as daylight. Every hour you spend on a screen after dark is an hour your body believes it is still daytime. Melatonin production is suppressed. Sleep onset is delayed. The biological operations scheduled for deep sleep are compressed or disrupted, and the cumulative cost of that disruption, accumulated across years of modern screen habits, is not tiredness. It is impaired immune function, disrupted metabolic regulation, compromised memory consolidation, accelerated cellular aging, and an increased risk of conditions ranging from depression to cardiovascular disease to neurodegenerative disorders. Your body trying to follow a program written for a world with no artificial light? Every night, modern environment overwrites that program, quietly, invisibly, at significant biological cost. Now step back and look at what connects all three of these mismatches, because the pattern is more important than any individual example. Your stress system, your hunger system, and your sleep system were all built for the same world, a world of physical threats, scarce food, and natural light cycles. They were all optimized for that world with extraordinary precision, and they are all being operated right now in a world that differs from the one they were built for in almost every relevant dimension. The threats are psychological, not physical. The food is abundant, not scarce. The light is artificial and continuous, not natural and cyclical. None of these systems are malfunctioning. That is the critical thing to understand. Your body is not broken. Your biology is not defective. Every system is doing precisely what evolution designed it to do, with complete fidelity, with extraordinary precision, in an environment that makes those precise, faithful responses harmful rather than helpful. The problem is not inside you. The problem is the gap between the world your body expects and the world your body inhabits. And understanding that gap, really understanding it with precision, changes everything about how you approach your own health, because it means that many of the conditions modern medicine treats as diseases are actually mismatches. They are the predictable biological consequences of running ancient hardware in a modern environment, and addressing them is not primarily a medical problem. It is an environmental one. It requires not fixing the body, but changing the conditions the body is operating in. Moving more, because your body expects movement as a baseline condition of existence. Managing stress through physical resolution, because your body only knows how to resolve threat physically. Protecting your light environment, because your body cannot tell the difference between the sun and your phone. Your body is not your enemy. It is an extraordinarily sophisticated system doing its best in a world it was never designed for. The more precisely you understand what it was designed for, the more effectively you can give it what it actually needs. The next video goes further into this. We are going to look at what the 1% of performers understood about working with their biology instead of against it, and the specific daily structures they used to close the gap between the ancient body and the modern world. Stay curious, stay informed, and remember, your body is not broken. It is just homesick for a world that no longer exists.